Coming up today on the show, it's all about the AI, OpenAI, Be My AI, and other AIs.
This is Double Tap, where blind people talk tech. Here's Stephen Scott and Shaun Preece.
And Google AI, I suppose, as well. Hello, Shaun Preece.
Hello, Stephen Scott. How are you?
Do you know what? I feel good because after our interview yesterday with the great and wonderful Karthik Karnan, who I've got to say, huge plaudits to this guy. Yeah, absolutely. Round of applause for Karthik for coming on here and answering our questions directly. Whether he wanted to or not, he did it.
We should say he didn't duck, he didn't dive, he didn't dodge anything.
No.
At all. He was. He just took the questions. So, yeah, well done.
I got the impression in the first couple of minutes, in the first couple of minutes of an interview when someone's kind of in that mood to just say anything,
Yes.
much to the chagrin of all his team, I'm absolutely certain.
Oh, yeah.
But
I noticed that, Stephen Scott, by the way.
What?
Well, yeah. There was, he was very frank. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, well, why not? Look, he's passionate. He's a passionate person.
Yes.
Aren't you a passionate person?
No, absolutely not. I'm
No, I know.
50-something years old. I can't even remember.
Got that
Yeah.
notification from Sarah. So, yes, on the show today...
That was unneeded. Thank you.
Maybe that's oversharing. I don't know. For me, to you, it's a bit weird. Anyway, hello. Welcome along to this this thing. And
What are we talking about,
got some
Stephen?
news. Do you want some news? We'll just dive right in.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Breaking news.
No, that's the wrong one. But you know what? It kind of is breaking news because OpenAI had their big development day yesterday, the big developers
I missed
day.
this.
Well, I nearly missed it. And I will be honest, I may as well have missed most of it because it's a very geeky event. This is like proper geeky event. I mean, Sam Altman is, I'm sure, a fantastic man in charge over there at OpenAI. I will say,
Careful.
not the most energizing of speakers. I just want to put it out there.
Oh, okay.
But he's not.
All right.
There was a
Criticizing.
hilarious moment at the end, just the tiniest bit of passive aggression from what I think might have been him either needing to get lunch and wanting to get out of there, or he had someone else he had to beat. Because just at the end, I don't have the clip or I would play it to you, but it was just at the very end of the thing. If you watch the whole development day, just go to the last 3 minutes. And there's a bit where he's wrapping up at the end, and he says, I want to thank you all for being here today. And they all start clapping. He's like, just 1 minute, I'm nearly finished. And then proceeds to basically just say thank you. And it always takes me back. I don't know if you ever remember, this is a very, very specific reference here, but do you ever remember a movie, the South Park movie back in the day?
Yes.
And there's a bit where
Now I'm nervous.
the Canadians are on TV with the Americans and they're shouting at each other, and he says, let me finish.
Oh, yeah.
And then he goes, I'm finished. Well, that was exactly that moment right there.
We all get hangry, Stephen Scott. It's fine. It's understandable.
So, yeah, OpenAI had their development day. And look, there was a lot
nuggets.
of... What?
I want the nuggets.
I was going to tell you before you interrupted me.
Hurry up. Get to the nuggets.
I'm getting to it. Well, look, there was a lot of nuggets flying around, which we could talk about. SDKs, all kinds of, development tools.
Boring.
Exactly. But what we wanted to know about was app integrations. I think that was the big headline of the whole thing for me. Was the big news was app integrations. So what they're doing now is they're building in, or app developers are building in their apps to ChatGPT. So one example that was given, and the one that kind of perked me up a little bit, woke me out of my slumber, was Canva. Now, I've used Canva. I used to use Canva years ago. It's a great application. So it's a web app. And
What is Canva?
well, I'll tell you if you let me talk. I feel so silenced around here. Says the guy who speaks probably for about 52 of the 56 minutes of this program. Yeah, Canva is essentially an image creation app, right? But it's kind of grown way beyond that now. You can create presentations on it. You can even make videos on it. You can use AI to create video for within your slides. It's incredible what you can do. And we used to use it quite a lot for our website, for the Double Tap website. We'd create an image on there, which might involve bringing in an image of the product we're talking about, maybe putting the Double Tap logo on there. Really simple. And what they've done is they have built this application into ChatGPT, so you can now prompt it to create the images you want. So instead of just saying create an image, which would use ChatGPT's own image creation tools, it'll now use Canva directly. Well, I mean, you can choose a number of different apps, and I'm sure there'll be more coming along, but that one in particular is at the beginning of this, where you can sort of type in Canva, and then it knows you're talking about Canva. Make me an image of an iPhone with the double tap logo in the top right corner, and it'll use the assets and everything within the application, anything you've got in there already, to actually create that image. And I thought that was quite cool. I mean, we've talked about this before. Creating images is one thing as blind people. It's trusting them is the other issue. So we've still got that element to deal with. But I do like the idea of being able to create more images in this case, but being able to create those images knowing you're using the tools that you would have used before, using your fonts, using your logos, using that kind of stuff rather than trying to generate it. Yeah.
So, ChatGPT or OpenAI's image generation or video generation is Sora.
Yes.
Okay? Why would you choose Canva over Sora? What's the good thing here? I mean, you mentioned assets. Do you link it to your Canva account and it automatically sees the logos and other assets you already have and uses those?
Yeah. So once you invoke Canva in a chat, so once you type in Canva in the text field, and once you ask it whatever you want to ask it, in that initial moment, it will log in. It will ask you to log in to your Canva account. So you're linking it through so that instead of using the Canva UI, the Canva web page or whatever, or the app or whatever you choose to use, you're just chatting to it through OpenAI's ChatGPT.
So it's linking to your Canva account.
Yeah.
Via something, I'm guessing, Stephen Scott, via something like an SDK or an API, something like that,
boring.
Which you just labeled as boring, which you also said was the best bit, was the app.
Okay, the SDK thing came later because they were talking about, how they would do this, and then they get into all the detail of it.
That's interesting.
Which was incredibly
How did they
boring.
do it, Stephen Scott?
I have no idea. They just have a person.
Fair enough.
Someone came on and she built an app in 8 minutes. It was very impressive, but I had no idea what they were talking about. What I will say, though, is, this is kind of the beginning of what I think is going to be the next wave. I mean, there was some really cool stuff. I didn't really understand it. There was something, not being able to see the event, it was quite difficult to understand this. There was a guy came on stage at one point and he said, there's a camera in the room and all of the lights here are Wi-Fi enabled. All of the lights in the building. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build an application which allows me to control the camera and the lights and then just talk to them all. And he did it in like a minute. And he was able to control the lights, say, light up the audience. And then all of a sudden, all the lights came on in the audience. The camera would move from left to right. He even asked it to, I don't even know how you under. He said he did. It's the way they describe it, like, oh yeah, I just did it. And I'm like, yeah, but how? So he took an Xbox controller and he said, I'm going to use this to control the camera. So he just asked.
No way.
He asked Codex, I think it was called, Codex, the application tool or whatever that they use to create the software. He said, he prompted it, no code, nothing, didn't write any code, just prompted it to say, I want to use this Xbox controller to control the camera. And within a minute, the camera was being controlled by the Xbox joystick. He didn't have to program it, it just did it.
Okay, so this isn't just vibe coding where the program spits out the code for you. You still need to compile it and put it in the right context. This is just doing it.
It's just doing it. Now, look, I think there's a lot more to this that's behind the scenes that I think you would have to understand and know. It's not like this is going to be for you and I, although maybe you, but certainly not for me to go and play with. But I think it's kind of leading to that point where coding is going to become something in the background we don't even think about anymore. In the same way that, we used to use computers, that we had to code almost. We had to learn about coding to be able to use a computer. I think back to the days of DOS and all that.
You had to learn machine code back in the day, where coding in binary and memory addresses.
That's right.
We moved on to what we would consider more followable, more understandable languages, where it's kind of English, but you still need to know the syntax. And now we're moving on to something else.
Well, I think about it from like DOS to using the mouse and keyboard, and how the UI, the user interaction, the user interface changed.
Yeah,
that's where I can really see what this is. You can kind of see the path here. At the moment, we're talking about coding in a way which, again, for a lot of us is going to be alien and not really of huge interest to a lot of us. but it's what unlocks. And the app integration showed what it can unlock. So, they have that integration built in. The developer goes off and builds an app, and suddenly you're able to use that app without actually needing to go into the website. So, here's an example that was also given. I think, was it Zillow? I think I might have got that wrong, but I think it's a website in the States for buying houses.
Oh, yeah.
And this person was talking about how they were going to be, they'd gone through this whole process of talking about setting up a dog walking business and how they were using it to, they were using Canva to create the slides and, build all that. And then while they were looking at it, they said, what else could I perhaps set up a good dog walking business? So they used some tool for that, which kind of expanded upon, Pittsburgh. It found Pittsburgh as the place to be. And they said, okay, well, let's find a house in Pittsburgh. And so he questioned this Zillow app, which I think would be like Rightmove or Remax or any of those kind of other websites that are out there with houses. He was able to get the information in line in the ChatGPT window. So it wasn't taking him off to the website to give him the answers. It was all there. Now, how accessible all that's going to be, that's another question. We'll find out in time. But, what was interesting was all the information came up in a text bubble, giving him the information about what houses were available. He could then drill down and filter in. I want a house with a garden, and I want it with 3 bedrooms, and it would be able to filter all that out for him and get more information about the property. Is it near this? Is it near that? It was just incredible, the amount of information.
This is almost this sort of inverse of the agents we've been talking about a lot, where we get AI to control external websites. Hey, go to Amazon, go to wherever, and find this and stick it in my cart or whatever. This is the inverse of that, because it's still going to that source for the information, but it's doing it inside ChatGPT itself.
Yeah. So ChatGPT is the window. Everything else is happening in the background. So, in the initial stages, and the reason I bring this up, because I know a lot of you might be listening and thinking, well, how is this going to benefit us in the long run? Yeah, well, possibly, yeah. But I think what I'm looking at here is where this is heading. And one thing that Sam Altman said on stage that was very interesting, again, we all know this, but it's interesting they think this way. It's interesting when these guys think this way. When he talked about how voice is going to be the main way to interact with our devices in the future. And it already is becoming that way, but it's going to become even more so that way. And I think that's telling of where we're headed. And I think for blind people, that's a good story. Obviously, there's many other issues with that. We need other methods of input for other people with different disabilities. But certainly in the blind community, we're very interested in being able to talk to our devices. I think about the simple things like I want an Uber, and I want it to pick me up at home.
Yeah.
And it knows because I'm at home, and it knows my home address because it's always, I've defined that in the app already, and where I want to go, and then I want it to confirm that. At the moment, we've seen examples of this in the past where there's different, like Siri had an integration with Uber for a while, and it kind of lasted for a while, but not very long.
Amazon Scale for your smart speaker did the same thing, but
was more for like recurring journeys, or like going.
That's right.
Do you want to do that journey to the hospital again? Because then it was defined.
Yeah, very nailed down.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
And that was deliberate, I think, because then it would reduce errors. If you get into the Uber and you say, well, I want to go to the hospital, and the hospital turns out to be, in another country, that could be a problem. Yeah. I didn't mean that, because like Birmingham, I remember someone had booked an Uber once for Birmingham, UK, and it was actually trying to take them to Birmingham, Alabama, which is quite a long trip.
Oh, okay. That would have cost a bit. Okay.
Yeah, quite a bit of a trip from London, I believe. But that kind of thing you have to obviously be careful of, and that's where I think having the built-in capabilities of the application, so you're using that trusted source, was quite interesting. It was a really, if you're into if you're geeky enough, you'll understand more of it than I did, perhaps. But it was quite interesting to watch how they're developing all this and how they're bringing developers in and opening this up to more people. I think it's a really interesting story, and the apps integration certainly is very, very interesting for us.
But it is, funnily enough, it's in these developer sessions where you do see, oh, okay, there's the future right there. This is where we're heading. It's same with the Meta, right? We saw the keynote with hey, here's the new glasses. But then in the development sessions, it's like, oh, okay, SDK, seeing AI, all this extra stuff. But it does mean sitting through quite a lot of nerdy talk, which can be quite boring at times if you don't follow it, which I don't.
I think the problem is a lot of people think, and this is maybe an old view, it's maybe a view of us as consumers, that we kind of expect companies now to just come to us with the fully baked solution.
Yeah.
So we hear about something like this and we go, oh, that's great. So now I can just use Canva fully with it. Oh, that's great. Brilliant. I don't need to use the app or the website anymore or the app. Well, yeah, that's partly true, but it's probably not entirely true. You know, there's going to be things it might not be able to do yet. It may not be able to do everything. So you will have to go back. I mean, for example, when they built the slides for the dog walking business on stage, you know, they said, now we'll go to the Canva website, we'll download those images and we'll continue from there. You know, so it's not a fully baked solution. This is about finding other ways to communicate, to create what you want to create. That's the bit that's interested a lot of blind people in using AI, how we can generate things. I mean, so many blind people now are making music through was it Suno and those other kind of products?
That's absolutely exploded. So many people. I still don't know quite how accessible that is, but it must be usable because people are creating with it.
But it feels like, and I'm probably going to eat my words at some point in this one, but it feels like this is getting a little bit more accessible because it's so simple, right? It's just text and voice based. You just have a conversation with it.
Yeah. Oh, I hope so. It's definitely improving. I did notice that Copilot had improved, and I say that. And yesterday, I spent all yesterday trying to get Copilot not to crash every time I clicked on Talk to Copilot.
Oh, that's helpful.
On every machine that I had. So, you think this is getting better, and then, of course. But we're used to that in blind world, you know, one step forward, two steps back. But, yeah, we're getting there. And on AI, by the way, did you see the news from Be My Eyes?
So you've been following this one more than I have, but they've had a big partnership in the UK, is that right, with BT, British Telecom?
Well, yeah, they have. And I don't know if this is to do with the initial announcement as well. They announced that they have just released Service AI, which is a standalone app, if you like, that small and medium, or any business for that matter, can implement the customer service into the Be My Eyes, services area. You know, on the Be My Eyes app, you've got Google, you've got all these various companies. Now, I don't know how that was implemented currently, if there was a big negotiation and, there was a big implementation into Google's systems to make all this work. But what they have now is a single standalone app, Service AI, which any company can get. And it basically uses AI to talk to the end customer. And now that company will be added on to the service list in the Be My Eyes app. So hopefully we're going to see more and more, and more importantly, I think, smaller companies will be able to offer the accessible customer support. So you can send a picture of, this is the thing I'm getting on my screen, or this is the problem, and AI will go through it. And then if you're not getting any joy with the AI, you can also talk directly to someone there. So yeah, I think this is a good move. And going on from that announcement, like you said, they announced that in the UK, BT and EE, which are a mobile stroke communication provider over here, they're doing a 6-month trial of offering the same service. I don't know if they're using that Service AI, but basically they are now on the Be My Eyes customer support area. And you can use that to talk to BT or EE, which I'm really excited about because I spent an hour trying to get through to EE yesterday on the normal customer support line. And I was going to see how much an iPhone 17 was, by the way, on contract.
Oh, really?
But even then, trying to get through to sales, which is usually straight through, could not get through. I was on hold. So, I would definitely use something like this. And by the way, this is a trial period. They are going to assess how much use this gets, how much traffic this gets. Is this really needed? So if you are a BT customer or an EE customer, definitely check it out. Definitely use it. Let them know that we do want this service. Otherwise, they'll say, well, only one person called and it was annoying Shaun. And, we don't need it. So, yeah, for 6 months. That's very cool.
It's the amount of times I hear this. I mean, I was on a call with someone today and we were talking about audio description. And, I have met a number of audio describers over the years who've told me, I have no idea if someone is even listening to the stuff I make. I do the audio description, I go in, I do the tracks, I do all the work, and then I never hear a word from anyone. I don't hear from the company. The company will get in touch and say, yeah, no one's ever, been in touch about this. Never hear feedback. We're all very good at complaining when something goes wrong, but we never praise when it goes well.
Absolutely.
And we also need to use these services. It's the temptation to say, oh, well, I'll just struggle on the way I always have. Oh, I don't want to use a specialist option. Well, come on, think about the rest of us. And also, why make your life more difficult? If I can go into an app like Be My Eyes and actually get access to service more quickly, why would I not want to do that?
Well, it's a good point, though. You're saying, well, I don't want to use a specialist service. I was thinking the same thing. Would I actually use that through Be My Eyes to get in touch with EE, my mobile phone provider, to ask them about a new iPhone? Because there's no accessibility angle there, right? But yeah, you're exactly right. Well, that's what it's there for. I mean, I don't feel I'm using it unnecessarily. So yeah, I would use that. And again, it all helps to show that people are aware that it actually exists and there is a need for it.
I sometimes feel we all do this where we kind of stand back and go, is it okay if I use this? Is it okay if I do that?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, of course. People ask me if it's okay to ask ChatGPT certain questions. I'm like, well, I don't know. Ask it.
Talking of AI, have you seen what's gone on with the Meta AI app recently?
Well, when you mean recently, of course, the new update, which has come out, which I do encourage people, you will need to have the updates. There was a WhatsApp issue recently, which I'd mentioned on Mastodon, actually. There was an issue we were made aware of where WhatsApp calls weren't being able to connect to video on the glasses.
Click didn't work.
The click didn't work. And normally when you make a WhatsApp call, even if it's just an audio call, you will hear a little bump or some kind of noise in the glasses, which indicates that you can then switch cameras. And you can then just double click on the button on the top of the Meta Ray-Ban glasses on the right side. And then that will allow you to switch cameras so that people who are on the WhatsApp call can see what you're seeing. And of course, there are a lot of people out there who use that functionality, use it all the time, I think.
All the time. It's amazing. It's my main use of the Ray-Bans. Yeah, it's great.
This had no impact on Be My Eyes. It had no impact on Ira calls either. So it seemed to be a WhatsApp-specific issue. But it has been resolved. But it is important to keep your glasses up to date. The thing I'm noticing is there's a lot of updates flying all the time, not just for the glasses, but for the app as well. So, your thoughts on the app?
Yeah, absolutely awful. Okay, so
well, that was easy.
There are some benefits there, but you'll notice that the tabs have changed at the bottom, and now the main screen that you're taken to, the main area, is it called Vibes? And basically, it's users that have created their content, their videos, or whatever it may be. And that's exactly the point. It's all shared slop. Now, it may be interesting, but not for me at all. I can't make head nor tail of what's going on. There's no audio description, obviously. So it's just a place to share what you've created with the video generation or whatever. It's just, okay, great. But it's exactly that for me. It's more of that AI-generated slop that they're just pushing out. And I just think, you know what? Give me an option in the settings which says, just take me to my device settings as soon as I open this app, or take me to the chat area. The one good thing that I did find was that, so you have Vibes, you have chat. So if you're having a chat with your glasses when you're out walking your dog or whatever, and you come back in, you can carry on that chat through the Meta AI app, which is cool because you could say generate some text or whatever, and then copy and paste it or do whatever you want from the iPhone or your smartphone afterwards. Obviously, you can't do anything with it from the glasses, right? So there is that aspect to it as well. I quite like that. And the third tab is now, I think it's devices. So that's where you'd go in to check your settings and play around with your various things. But yeah, I saw a lot of people getting upset with the Vibes and, people worried about their privacy. And I actually had a chat in the chat section and said, okay, is this chat that we're having now, is it searchable online? Is it going to appear anywhere? And it just said, no, absolutely not. It's private and only between you and I. Do you trust it? I don't know. Again, this is all about the trust with big tech companies, especially Meta.
Sorry. I'm calling
especially Meta reputation. Just go into those, privacy terms and conditions and go into your privacy settings. Trouble is, I say that, and you go in there and it's like, okay, to change this link, go to here, and you go and you're taken to a website. It's so disjointed how you do this stuff. So I need to take a look at by myself. But I believe that by default, you're not sharing your content. But do we trust them? They've ruined their reputation.
Wasn't that the whole thing? What's kind of held back Meta AI from coming to UK and Europe, in particular UK, because Europe, I think, seems to be that a lot of these functionalities are just not making it to Europe because of issues and regulations that are in place, and whether or not Meta or any company, quite frankly, wants to play along. But I know that was one of the issues, wasn't it? That it had to be an opt-in rather than an opt-out when it came to
it should always be by default that you're not sharing, and if you want to, you got to opt in. And funnily enough, on this app now, when you open it up, it does say your voice recordings are now stored to train the AI, and there's no longer a setting to opt out. You can delete them, which means going into your history and your voice activity and deleting them, but you can't opt out. And that's a big deal, right? Because how many people are actually going to go in every time they give a voice command? Go in, delete it.
Oh, I must mention.
Oh, blimey, what happened? You okay?
No, I just want to remind people of this, or tell people about this, because I don't even know if anyone knows. So Elon Musk, he's now great.
Oh, we love Elon.
Elon's amazing.
Yeah, everything else he's done, it doesn't matter anymore.
So, you know what? Once we get what we want with accessibility, no one cares about any of that nonsense anymore. We've moved on. So alt text on X, it's a thing. Now, of course, alt text has been around for a long time on X, and you could create your own alt text, you could put it in there. But now, the images describe themselves. So you listen to a post, and the image has got alt text on it. And it's fairly decent. I mean, it's decent enough. It certainly tells you more than image does. So I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, you got very excited by this. I don't go on X, so I don't know. So how does this work?
Are you a hater, are you?
No, I just don't care.
Fair enough.
I'm just far too lazy to deal with it. The point is, if someone puts their own alt text on there, it's not overwritten, right? It just ignores it. That's right. If there's no alt text, then it uses what's there is called Grok to create the AI, the alt text.
Yeah. Which I think is great. I mean, look,
hey, it's what we've been asking for, and the accusation was right from the start. Oh, he's got rid of the accessibility department. You watch. This is going to fail, right?
Well,
when it comes to accessibility.
The app is fine. The app is still fine. I mean, all the premonitions of doom never came true. I didn't sign up to any of that. I mean, I had concerns. And obviously, with an accessibility team, the challenge is as new updates roll out, if they're not tested, then, obviously the wheels could start to fall off, right? But what's interesting is when we had the issues, there was a particular issue.
I'm trying to remember what it was.
Yeah, so am I. But there was an issue we had with it, and it was fixed fairly quickly. We found
but
there was someone found on Twitter who was the engineer. But again, it was listened to and it was dealt with. I mean, look, I have to say, there's other apps that we have got full accessibility teams, and they are not fixed that quickly. So I don't know what that tells you.
It's an interesting experiment as to, do you need an accessibility department?
Well, you do. You absolutely do.
Please don't. Well, no. Look, if accessibility is thought about throughout the structure of an organization, arguably every department has accessibility in mind anyway. Do you need an accessibility department?
Well, look, you've said this before. I think you absolutely do. And I think one thing we need is more people in those accessibility teams, because the challenge is trying to keep up with the backlog of things that need to happen. This was a one-off incident.
There wouldn't be a backlog if accessibility was baked in every department, from the initial user interface.
Oh, I know what you want. You want heaven.
I want the moon on a stick. Yeah, but isn't that what's happening with X? Or is this
not really.
This is a fluke.
I don't think I'd go that far. No, I think, like I said, there was one incident that happened.
Well,
there was the engineer happened to pick up on it, and it was fixed. That's a good thing. I'm absolutely for that. But that does not tell me that we should sack every accessibility team out there on the basis of, it'll be fine. They'll just figure it out, because we'll just go on Twitter and moan about it.
Can I just point out, you played the heavenly sound effect there, talking about Elon Musk. So I think that says everything. You're a fan. Okay. Lots of AI going on.
We're huge fans.
That's the bottom line.
Huge fans of AI around here. Listen, I've got to mention as well, this is amazing we get to this last in our news list, but Google have announced some new devices, which is, you'd think I'd be jumping up and down saying, hooray, new toys, new things. The first thing up was cameras. So they brought out a couple of new cameras, outdoor and indoor. They're saying it's going to have better resolution, I think up to 2K. So that's quite interesting, and wider fields of view as well. There's also ways that you can ask the camera what's going on, so you can find out if someone came to the door earlier that day. So very similar in a lot of ways to what we've seen with Amazon coming out. So Google kind of not replicating it, but doing very similar with their own devices. They've had these cameras for a long time. Now, we're talking here, of course, about cameras that you would monitor your outdoors, not necessarily doorbell cameras, but I think they do have doorbell cameras, don't they? They've got the Nest cameras as well.
Video doorbell. Yes, and the Nest cameras. Like all of them. Yeah, they've all got security cameras, floodlights, and video doorbell.
They've even got indoor cameras as well, which is quite cool. I always find that a bit creepy, to be honest, but, okay, fine.
Well, you say that, but the amount of times... Okay, I'm going to say this. The amount of workmen I've had in, and you've had that initial conversation about what you want, and then when the work is finished, you say, that is absolutely not what I asked for. And they say, yeah, it was. I always think, I'm going to get some indoor cameras to record every conversation. But then I always think, it is a bit creepy to have cameras inside your house, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, again, that thing of, like, I have elderly parents who I kind of worry about what they're up to, what's going on, what happens if there's a fall. Look, I'm not going to put cameras in bedrooms. I'm not going to put them in bathrooms.
Yeah, that's the thing. At what point does it become an invasion of someone's privacy?
Yeah, I mean, it's like public areas
for safety.
Well, that's right. I mean, cameras in the hallways or maybe in a living area, that's a kitchen, fine. I suppose it's fine as long as the person falls in those areas. It's not ideal, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I do like as well, I do like this ask capability with Gemini that they have. And of course, Amazon will have this as well with their own systems. But I'd say I think Google are a little bit further ahead with this. I like the Gemini approach of being able to say, because, for example, let's say something, you want to check on something like, did my mum take her tablets? Would it be able to figure that out? Would it know that? I think it probably would. It'd certainly be able to see what she's doing enough to know. I don't know, but I'd like to know that if that's a thing, because that appeals to me. That does appeal to me, to be able to, because, the other issue I have is I'm not going to be able to sit going through all the footage. So it's like, I want to have these cameras so that I can keep an eye on them, but I'm kind of trusting them to do the heavy lifting here, because I can't go in and check all the camera feeds and make sure they're doing what they do.
These aren't locally processed devices, right? These aren't supercomputers in these cameras. So that video footage has got to be sent off to the cloud.
Yeah.
So we're back to the privacy concerns with AI again. Do
Yeah.
you really want everything your mum and dad's doing inside the house sent off somewhere to be processed so you can ask, did she take her tablets today?
Don't you think the horse is bolted on that one? I mean, I don't mean so much for my mother. I mean, just for society in general.
Well, yeah, but again, it depends on, can we trust, if Google say we're not storing this, do you trust them?
I don't trust Google.
99% of people out there say no. Of course not.
Yeah, I'll say this. The upside is that when Google do, because Google have was it the website, Google Graveyard, where, they products that have gone to die.
Is that Google's site, or is that a third party someone's just made?
But I think it's third party. I don't think it's a Google site.
I don't think Google said,
No.
look at what we made and killed off.
Yeah, I don't think that's it. But I find that quite interesting that exists, because what that tells me is that when they do kill it all off, all our data's fine, because it'll all be erased. We'll smash up all those hard drives and it'll be fine.
Talking of privacy, it's happened. What everyone was predicting would happen here in the UK with the age verification, and of course it's rolling out everywhere across the world. Discord, the third-party company they use for age verification, has been hacked. So people's, chats, emails, and their government ID scans, they've been hacked. It was guaranteed that this wouldn't happen. None of these scans were going to be, you scan your passport or your driving license, whatever it was, it wouldn't be stored. It's been hacked. It's happened.
I would
total
almost
betrayal.
I would always say, anyone who tells you something is not possible and is absolutely certain that thing will never happen, guarantee that thing will happen. you can almost invert that right away and say whatever. When someone is absolutely sure, when someone says to you, I am 100% sure that this will not be hacked, this will not be able to be tampered with.
Just can't
My
say
immediate
that,
my immediate response is, oh, so it will then. It's like when a politician says, let me be clear. You know what follows is the exact opposite of clear.
Oh, dear.
Muddy puddle, more like.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway.
Ups and downs.
But I will say there's another product they announced, which I think you might be more interested in. They announced a speaker.
Did they? Are you sure?
So, kind of. So they did announce a speaker, which they're going to be bringing out. But wait for this. Spring 2026.
Yeah, so was this announcement to sort of pour water on Amazon's event?
I think so.
Okay.
There's a video that goes with it. We'll play it along, and I will mention some bits as we go here. But yeah, this gives you a bit of an indication as to what's to come from the new Google Smart Speaker.
Hey Google, why is there a huge hole in the screen?
Your outdoor camera shows a bat flew through it at 6 p.m.
A bat?
How do we get rid of it?
Do not turn on the lights.
My bad.
It could make the bat disoriented. Try to stay close to the wall. Bats tend to fly toward the center of the room.
All right, Google. Now what?
Carefully drape a blanket over the bat.
I'll do all the dishes.
Okay.
It's teamwork.
So in the video, you've got a couple who are making dinner, and they ask the camera either tells them.
I don't think we need AD. We can follow along that, Stephen Scott.
But I
There's
think
a hole and a bat.
I think the bit that's most interesting is how the guy. Why is this a thing now in every advert? That every guy is useless in every possible situation and has to ask his wife to do it. I find that bizarre. There seems to be a thing because in my house it would be
case.
no, it'd be the exact opposite in my house. I'd be my wife would be up the stairs,
manly man,
chucking me a broom or something and saying, "Deal with it."
Oh, okay, a broom. Okay.
Well, yeah, they'll get that place cleaned up as well. Yes, miss.
Okay. That sounds amazing. Of course it does. It's a bit of PR marketing. Sounds really cool.
Well, it's the linking up, isn't it? It's the linking of the cameras, being able to ask questions about it.
Yes, that's the thing. But I also heard in part of the announcement that Google Gemini is coming to the entire range of Google smart speakers. So that Nest I've got in the living room that I've had for 10 years or whatever will be able to use Google Gemini. I mean, we've talked about this before in preview. Is it early preview? But apparently this is going to roll out. So I suppose that means it's going to be officially launched and available. In which case...
It can sound so unhappy about this if we tried. I suppose it'll come out at some point. We'll bring out a thing and we'll buy it and it'll be okay.
No, not at all. Look, I want to use that. But of course, that requires something with a camera because he turned the light on and it said, don't turn the light on. Oh, yeah, my bad. So obviously he's using a device there with a camera built in.
No, the smart speaker doesn't have a camera. It doesn't even have a screen.
So
it's just
you're saying it's using the ecosystem of the Google security cameras.
I didn't pick up
indoor.
on that. No, I didn't pick up on that. So that's
well,
interesting.
I did, Stephen Scott. Because,
well done, because you've got bat-like hearing.
Ah, thank you.
And bat-like sight as well.
Very keep it secret. That was actually really impressive, and I would, if it works like that, of course, I'm all in. That sounds great.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that's how the Amazon's going to work, right? That's how we all envisage it working.
Absolutely, yeah. I wonder why the robots will take over. I sometimes wonder, well, will it happen? And I think actually, yeah, it probably will.
Yeah, it should happen pretty soon. Please take over.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm kind of looking forward to it in a way because I think, I just can't be bothered anymore.
Well done. You're listening to Double Tap.
Yeah, if only someone could just press a button now and move it along. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Get in touch with Double Tap. Email feedback@doubletaponair.com. Leave us a voicemail at 1-877-803-4567. And now you can send an audio or video message to us on WhatsApp. That number is 1-613-481-0144.
Yep, lots of you getting in touch. So I think it's time to do this.
Ah, yes.
Email.
We get email.
We get your email every day.
Oh, yes.
Ding dong.
Here's your mail today.
Doosh.
Oh, it's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while since we've done the emails.
Has it? I don't know. Feels a while.
It feels like a while, yeah.
Well,
Has nothing to do with the way we do this show.
No.
I've just realised I haven't brought my list up in front of me. My list of all the emails. Oh, this is gonna be no. This is gonna be like a gamble now. This is interesting.
Oh, okay. Email roulette.
Well, it is
don't
actually
know what you're gonna get.
It is gonna be email roulette because not only do we not know what's coming, there was 2 emails in here we've already played that this is like a game show now.
You mean you didn't delete them off?
No, I didn't delete them. So
well done, Stephen.
So now this could just be anything that happens. This is quite exciting.
Let's just roll with it.
Okay, let's go with it. Email number 1. You're on.
Hey, Sean and Steve, or Steve and Sean, depending on which way you guys like it.
Oh.
You guys were talking about the employer who doesn't want to put anything on IT on the server. I do agree with Sean. When you're applying for a job, they do ask you how you're doing the job. What equipment do you need, and how do you use it? So I don't understand why IT would be sitting there. So it could be human resources not giving them the information. Also, they can program just the JAWS or NVDA to save it on the network, so that way they're protected from any other apps. So I don't understand why they're doing that. Anyway, it's crazy world. It's like applying to work for Uber, and then ask them to give you a car because you don't have one, or you don't have a driver's license, so you need them to teach you. Again, blind people, we need to know how to use our JAWS or NVDA when you go for a job interview. Anyway, have a nice day. It's been a pleasure. Ciao.
Oh, thank you. I didn't catch your name there, but ciao indeed.
That was from email number 1. Obviously.
Email number 1.
Ciao, Bella.
Ciao, Bella.
Yeah, okay. So this is following our discussion about...
Okay.
Calm down. Come on, keep it together, Stephen. We're nearly through.
Oh, when does it end? Oh, dear.
About IT departments.
Tomorrow I'm going to get Mr. F on. Do you know that?
Mr. F.
I'm getting him to do it tomorrow.
God bless you, Mr. F. Oh, we're so
I'll take
tired.
that day off. Yeah, carry on.
No, I can't. No.
No, I mean, look,
carry on.
I think I wasn't entirely sure where you were going there because there was 2 things there with the JAWS
The
thing.
analogy with Uber and
well, that, yeah. I mean, I kind of get that argument of, we wouldn't expect to get a job. I don't know. The problem is there's a lot of assumption that people just know the answer. You do this all the time. You think everybody knows everything about everything. Oh, the IT department should know about JAWS. And if they don't know about JAWS, they should know
completely
about NVDA.
different, by the way. Completely
Absolute
different.
nonsense.
IT department, their entire role is to assist in the IT systems of the organization. Absolutely, they should know about screen readers.
Hang on, wait. I'll tell you about IT. This is what IT do. You give them a call. They say there's a little problem. They say, switch it off. Switch it back on again. And that is IT.
That's so narrow-minded of you, Stephen Scott. They
to
are
all the
brave
IT
men
listeners,
and women.
all the IT engineering people who listen to us. Good day to you. Godspeed with your updates. It's Tuesday update. It's Microsoft update today, isn't it? Because Tuesdays.
25H2?
No, but generally, Tuesdays are... Is this Tuesday?
Yeah. Yes, it is, Stephen Scott. It's Tuesday. I am so sorry, listeners. We will get better.
I don't know what
9
it is.
years in.
I don't know what it is. It's just, I think we had so much fun yesterday with Karthik. I've kind of spent myself.
Oh, please, email number 2. Thank you, email number 1.
Right, let's move on. This one comes to us from, I remember this one. This one comes to us from someone inside AMI Audio.
What?
This is interesting.
Hey, Sean. Hey, Stephen. I heard you guys share the audio of the 2 women making the English breakfast, which included tons of super useful tips for blind cooks. I love cooking and baking, and I'm always learning. The tips that they had, it was all really good advice with quite a few that I never heard before. But I was surprised to hear that both of you said you were afraid of cooking. Not disinterested or had no need to cook or anything like that. Just straight up afraid.
What?
I'm going to presume why you and a lot of other people in the community are afraid of the kitchen. It's either burning the food, making bad food, burning yourself or cutting yourself, or starting a fire. Let me address those one by one. Regarding burning food and making bad food, if that's what you're worried about, just know that that's part of the learning process. Sighted cooks burn stuff all the time. It happens. Sighted cooks made bad food all the time. It happens. It's not even a blind thing. And when it comes to burning stuff, eventually, both sighted and blind cooks alike learn to gauge how long things take to cook. And that intuition for how long things take to cook doesn't really take that long to develop if you cook regularly. If you're afraid of burning yourself or cutting yourself, take your time. There's no need to rush things. Be deliberate in the way that you move around in your kitchen and learn to recognize what's especially dangerous. Like 5 centimeters worth of bubbling oil should be taken especially carefully. Accidents do happen to everyone. Reassure yourself in knowing that the only time you'll seriously burn or cut yourself is when you're truly being reckless. All you need to do is be careful. And if you're afraid of starting a fire, I totally get this one. But know that fires don't just start out of nowhere. There are very clear conditions that need to happen for a fire to break out, and knowing those conditions makes it easy to prevent them. The most common thing that sets out kitchen fires is, by far, putting something on the stove and forgetting about it. It's by far the number one thing that causes fires. Never leave your stovetop unattended, and just by doing that, you drastically lower your chance of starting a fire. The other thing is keeping the stovetop clean, especially of grease and oil. Again, easy to do because it's blind friendly. Just before you turn on the burners, just feel around the surface to see if it's feeling oily or greasy. If it is, clean it up. The other thing is keeping things like paper towels or kitchen towels away from the elements. Again, that's an easy precaution to take. If you do cook a recipe that asks for 5 centimeters of oil, personally, I just avoid recipes that ask for this because it's kind of sketchy, I'm not going to lie. But if you do, you can sort of just hover your hand over the oil and you can sort of tell when it's getting dangerously hot. My point is, fires don't just start out of nowhere because you have bad karma or something. Learn what starts them and avoid creating the conditions that start fires. If you do that, everything else becomes so much more relaxed. And just saying, cooking is super relaxing for a lot of people, and it's a great time to listen to an audiobook or listen to a podcast. That's it. Thanks for everything.
And that was our very own Jacob Szymanski, of course. Now, I'm surprised he didn't do this, but it seems like an obvious opportunity. Missed, I would say, for him not to mention his amazing show, AMI Audiobook Cafe, which you can check out on AMI Audio, and also on a podcast near you.
It's great and very relaxing. It's something you could listen to while you know what,
While you're
J-Man?
burning your house to the ground.
Yeah, while you're burning your house down. It's so I've got an image now of you just, walking around your kitchen with a glass of wine with boop, 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 just playing, and you're all relaxed and in charge. In my world, I'm falling over things. I've got a kitchen roll over my left shoulder, which when I bend over the hob catches fire immediately and burns all my hair off.
That's the scene in Mrs. Doubtfire, isn't it? When Robin Williams leans over the cooker and suddenly,
That's exactly it. I am never relaxed. But as you say, it may have to do with experience. The more you do it, the happier you are. I will say today,
once you're on your fifth house,
yes,
you'll have nailed it.
Fires don't just happen, Stephen Scott.
No, they don't just happen. But you can encourage them.
Thank you, Jacob. That was some great, amazing tips. Thank you, sir. You inspire me.
That's not my fear. That wasn't my fear. I mean, it's partly, I suppose, but it's not really the main thing for me. The thing for me is killing all my guests. That's the fear.
No, I'm with him on that. It doesn't matter if you burn it or whatever. That's just anyone can.
Well,
do
I'd rather
that.
burn it, to be honest, or at least get closer to burning something. Things like chicken, that always terrifies me.
Talking
Pork.
Thermometer. That's what you need.
Yeah, that's true.
Check
I mean, this
the
is why I
temperature
love the air
inside.
fryer. This is why I love the air fryer. Everything in the air fryer, although the thing about the air fryer no one told me when I got one was everything cooks so much quicker. So when it says, for example, on the back of the packet, well, it might say, put it in the grill or put it in the oven for 20 minutes at 200, say, or whatever the, non-EU compliant version of that is.
Miles.
Yes, miles per hour.
Yards.
When you do that, if you did that in an air fryer, it would be burnt to a cinder.
No. Everything in my air fryer goes in for 20 minutes, high power, dial to the top. Same as the microwave. 4 minutes, high power. That's everything. That's all you need to know. We are not chefs or cooks. Please don't take our advice.
No, you noticed that it was Deborah and Chris in the kitchen the other day, not us.
Not us.
For good reason.
I asked Gemini, I've got a bag of long grain rice, I've got some chicken, and I've got an onion. What can I make? So later on, I'm making some rice, chicken, onion thing in one saucepan. That's the actual official
delightful.
name. I know. I think so.
Sean's surprise?
Broth. It's definitely going to be a surprise. The kids have already said, I'm going to get a takeaway.
I don't want anything to do with it.
I'm looking forward to it. I cook in one pan. That's my trick.
Do you clean that
one
pan?
saucepan? Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. Do check out
Thank
Audiobook
you.
Cafe. Great show. Well worth checking out on AMI Audio and on podcast. Right, let's move on. I think James is up next.
Hello, you double tapping folks, and Stephen and Sean. Sean and Stephen, whichever order you prefer.
Stephen and Sean.
Second time.
I wanted to record this message right quick and let you guys know that I am very excited because I have ordered me an Apple Watch Series 11 and an iPhone 17 standard. Without getting too much into the weeds, the Pro, I don't want the big camera bump, so that was out. And the Air, only one speaker.
Boo!
That's a deal breaker too.
No.
So a
Wrong.
tip: if you find yourself not being awe-dropped by Apple events, do what I do. Wait a long time between upgrading. I haven't had an Apple Watch since the Series 4, and I haven't had it in a long time because I gave it to somebody else. So this will be very exciting. It'll be a huge upgrade. I have an SE3 right now, so it'll be my first time having Face ID and no home button and all that. So demo incoming, maybe for the extra, because it might be long. But that's something I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I have for now.
Fair enough.
Keep double tapping. Bye-bye.
Tap, tap.
Bye-bye, James. Thank you very much. Well done you on buying the watch. The phone? No, look, you know what? I think you're quite right. No. If he'd said Pro, I'd have been booing him all the way to the end.
Well, you did boo him during that, Stephen Scott.
No, because he criticised the Air. I have the Air with me right now. And you know what? This is going to shock listeners. But
you hate it. You're sending it back.
The iPhone Air is currently naked. No
You'll drop
case.
it.
I know.
You'll sit on it.
Do you know
Stand on
what?
it.
I did get Apple Care with it this time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, the guy taught me into it. I started off, I'm not interested, don't even bother telling me. He says, well, look, I have to say this because it's just part of the rigmarole. I said, okay, fine. By the end of it, he told me the price, and I'm like, no, that's actually not too bad. Yeah, okay, fine, I'll take it.
I've never done Apple Care.
No, well, you're a disgrace to yourself and humanity.
Is that one speaker becoming a problem for you, Stephen Scott?
Can I be honest? I kind of like it. And I'll tell you why. If you hold your phone horizontally, and you were always...
okay.
Yeah,
like a
long ways.
table. Yeah.
What?
Like a table.
Like
tabletop. That's
holding-
horizontal, isn't it? Vertical standing up. Horizontals. Is that right?
Oh,
Carry
shut up. Right, so you're holding your phone, watching a video
Like a
on
table.
YouTube, and you turn it to the side, right? So it's in landscape mode.
Yes.
And you obviously get one hand covering the bottom of the phone, right?
Well, okay.
I mean, unless you want to be really awkward, right? It's quite difficult to kind of... If you're doing that with a phone with two speakers, your hand's over one of the speakers. And it gets really
if
annoying.
you've got Hulk-sized hands.
I do have Hulk-sized hands. Hulk-hand-sized. Yeah,
We're
that.
tired.
I'm very tired. We'll get sleep. I promise you we'll be better tomorrow. I mean, I can't promise that, obviously, but we'll do our best.
It's a guarantee.
It's an absolute...
worse.
It's a double tap guarantee, which means you're going to get nothing.
But are you not? Do you not find it distort? I understand what you're saying. You can block
Because
the
basically
bottom.
you're blocking the bottom speaker, but you don't have that problem, and the sound's only coming out of one speaker. My episode of The
Well,
West Wing
yeah,
last night was delightful.
Only if you got chubby thumb meat that overlaps over the top.
Chubby
of the...
thumb meat. That's an episode
the
title.
episode.
Right there. Chubby thumb meat. I think I might make that my password, actually. That's a good one.
Stop it.
01.
Do you find
Exclamation
mark. Do you find that earpiece speaker, does it not distort at high volumes?
No,
Is it
not
okay?
at all. No, if I'd almost say it could do with a bit more volume. It doesn't have those horrible jumps in volume that I got from the 16. and the Pro versions as
that's
well.
OS, isn't it? That's not.
I think it is, but it certainly don't feel that on this at all. I mean, look, I know it is going to be lacking in busy environments. That's the problem, but I don't mind too much because usually at that point, the audio's coming through my Meta Ray-Bans or AirPods, so I don't really care too much. Yeah. But I certainly haven't found it a bad sound. I've found it quite nice. We're going to be meeting up in a couple of weeks, so you'll get a chance to hear it for yourself.
I will test it out, but I will immediately say it's awful.
It's awful. I couldn't possibly have such a thing. And then a week later, he's going to be buying one. It's funny the amount of people I'm seeing who are buying them who almost feel guilty about admitting they've bought the Air. It's like, I know I should. You're almost like sending an email to Tim Cook saying, I know you want me to really buy the Pro, but I just really like the Air. It seems really nice. And the battery's fine. Battery's absolutely fine as well.
If you say so, all right.
Having no issues.
In a month. Okay.
Well, so far so good. So far so good. I mean, look, I've been thinking about it, and I thought, do I really like this? I do. I love the size. I love the weight of it. Weight of it more than anything else. I really like it. So far so good.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, James. Thanks to everyone, and thank you, Jacob, as well. Check out his show, of course. And we'll be back tomorrow, if Mr. F allows us, after today's performance. So. I think a review is on the cards. That is it from us today, though. We'll catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Whee! Just thought I'd do it. I never get a chance to do it anymore.